You won't believe what happened to me at the airport, and I need to know if I'm crazy for what I did. Imagine this, a packed terminal, the excited buzz of people heading to their dream vacations, and then asterisk smack asterisk. My own sister, Ashley, winds up and slaps me across the face, right there, in front of hundreds of strangers, all because she didn't get the window seat. And my parents, they didn't even blink. Their eyes immediately locked on me, blaming me for her outburst, just like they always do. But here's the kicker, the part they had absolutely no idea about. I paid for the entire trip. Every single flight, every hotel night in Hawaii, every activity, all of it came out of my pocket. So tell me, was I wrong to quietly cancel their tickets and walk away, leaving them stranded? Would you have done the same thing? Let me take you back to the beginning to understand just how this explosive moment came to be. My sister, Ashley, has always been the golden child. From the moment she was born, it was clear she held a special place in my parents' hearts that I, as the older sister, could never quite touch. I tried, believe me. I excelled in school, worked hard, always tried to be agreeable, but it never mattered. Ashley was beautiful, charismatic, and a bit of a troublemaker, which somehow my parents found endearing. Her tantrums were spirited. Her mistakes were learning experiences, while mine were disappointments. I learned early on that fighting for their attention was a losing battle, so I retreated, focusing on building my own life and success. I became an aerospace engineer, a career that demanded precision, logic, and a thick skin. It's a job I love, and it's allowed me to live comfortably, even luxuriously, if I wanted to. The Hawaii trip was supposed to be a peace offering, a grand gesture from me to my family. We hadn't had a proper family vacation in years, not since I was a teenager and Ashley managed to ruin every single one with some drama or another. Now, in my late 20s, I thought maybe things had changed. Maybe we were all mature enough to enjoy a trip together. My parents had always talked about Hawaii, how it was their dream destination. I saw an incredible deal for a long stay at a beautiful resort, complete with flights and excursions, and on a whim, I decided to surprise them. It wasn't cheap, mind you, we're talking 5 figures, but I could afford it, and I genuinely wanted to create some good memories, to feel like a family for once. I envisioned us laughing on the beach, exploring the island, just being happy together. I even booked first-class tickets for everyone, thinking that would ensure comfort and prevent any squabbles over seating. What a fool I was. I presented the trip to them at Christmas. My parents were ecstatic, showering me with hugs and praises, which felt good for a change. Ashley, of course, immediately wanted to know who paid. When I told her it was me, she simply nodded, as if it was my duty, and started making demands about where we would stay and what we would do. My parents, naturally, indulged her every whim, changing my carefully planned itinerary to suit her preferences. I gritted my teeth and went along with it. It's for the family. I told myself, just let it go. I booked an extra activity she wanted, changed a dinner reservation, even upgraded our suite to one with a private plunge pool because she said the regular pool wasn't exclusive enough. Each time it chipped away at my resolve, but I kept telling myself, it's Hawaii, it'll be worth it. The morning of the trip started rough. Ashley was late, of course. She kept us waiting for over an hour, causing us to almost miss our flight. My parents were frantic, but instead of chastising Ashley, they kept looking at me, sighing, as if I was somehow responsible for her tardiness. When she finally arrived, sauntering in with a nonchalant shrug, my mother immediately rushed to her, asking if she was okay and not too stressed. I just stood there, holding 4 carry-on bags, feeling invisible. We made it to the airport, checked our bags, and navigated security, all while Ashley complained about the crowds, the slow lines, and the price of airport coffee. I bought her a latte, hoping to preempt a meltdown. It didn't work. We finally reached our gate, and I, being the meticulous planner, had already checked us in online. I had made sure to get everyone aisle seats in first class, knowing Ashley prefers to get up and walk around. My parents were assigned seats across the aisle from each other, and I had a seat a few rows back. I thought this arrangement was perfect. Everyone had easy access, and there was plenty of legroom. This is where things went sideways, really sideways. As we approached the gate agent, Ashley glanced at her boarding pass. Her eyes narrowed. "What is this?" she demanded, thrusting the pass into my face. "An aisle seat? I explicitly told you I wanted a window seat. I need to see the view." I tried to explain calmly, "Ashley, we're in first class. These are the best seats available. I thought you preferred the aisle for getting up and down." She scoffed. "You thought wrong. What kind of sister doesn't know her own sister's preferences? This whole trip is ruined before it even started." My parents immediately jumped in. My dad said, "Sweetie, can't you just swap with someone, or ask the flight attendant?" My mom chimed in, "She just wants to enjoy the view, darling. It's Hawaii." I felt a familiar knot tighten in my stomach. This was it, the moment where I became the villain again. Even though I had spent thousands of dollars trying to create a perfect experience for them. I looked at the gate agent, who looked utterly bewildered by the escalating drama. "I'm sorry, ma'am," she said gently. "First class is fully booked, and there are no window seats available in this cabin." Ashley's face contorted. "Unacceptable," she shrieked. "This is my sister. She's supposed to make sure I get what I want." She turned back to me, her eyes blazing. "You did this on purpose, didn't you? You always try to make my life miserable." Before I could even respond, before I could process the unfairness of it all, she lifted her hand and delivered a stinging slap across my cheek. The sound echoed in the relatively quiet gate area. My head snapped to the side, and a hot, prickly sensation spread across my skin. I stood there, stunned, my hand involuntarily rising to my face. The silence that followed was deafening, as every single person in our vicinity turned to stare. And then my parents spoke, not to Ashley, not to reprimand her, but to me. My mother gasped, "Oh, for goodness sake, my name. What did you do to upset her now?" My father added, his voice laced with exasperation, "You know how sensitive she is about these things. Why couldn't you just get her a window seat?" They were looking at me with disappointment, with blame, as if I had been the one to strike an innocent person. They immediately went to Ashley, comforting her, asking if she was okay, if she was stressed out. No one asked if I was okay. No one even acknowledged the physical assault. So that's the situation I was in, a literal slap in the face, both physically and emotionally, and I had to make a choice. Here I was, having poured my heart, my time, and a significant portion of my savings into a trip meant to bring us closer, only to be publicly humiliated and then blamed for it. My cheek still burned, my heart was pounding, and the faces of strangers were a blur of shock and pity. Before I tell you what happened next, what I actually did in that moment of absolute fury and despair, I want you to pause and comment below. What would you have done in my shoes? Would you have swallowed your pride and continued the trip? Would you have confronted them? Or would you have walked away? I'm genuinely curious to hear your thoughts, because what I did next, it was impulsive. But in that moment, it felt like the only way to reclaim a shred of my dignity. I stood there for a few more seconds, watching my parents doting on Ashley, who was now dramatically dabbing at her eyes, feigning tears. The words they had just spoken, the complete lack of concern for me, for what their favorite child had just done, echoed in my ears. It was like a dam broke inside me. All the years of being overlooked, of being blamed for things that weren't my fault, of constantly trying to earn their love and failing it all rushed over me. And then, a profound sense of clarity. This wasn't going to change. Hawaii wasn't going to magically transform them into a loving, appreciative family. It was just going to be another week of me catering to Ashley and being invisible. A cold calm settled over me. My hand slowly dropped from my burning cheek. I looked at the gate agent, who was still observing the scene with wide, sympathetic eyes. I took a deep breath. "Excuse me," I said, my voice surprisingly steady. "I need to speak with you privately for a moment." She nodded and led me a few steps away, out of earshot of my family, who were still wrapped up in their little drama. "I need to cancel 3 tickets," I told her, my eyes fixed on hers, the ones for the 2 adults and the other young woman in my party. She blinked, surprised. "Are you sure, ma'am? This is a first-class international flight. There will be significant cancellation fees." "I understand," I replied, pulling out my credit card. "Just cancel them. Effective immediately." I handed her the card I had used to purchase the entire trip. She processed the cancellation with a few clicks and keystrokes, a solemn expression on her face. I didn't flinch. The relief washing over me was immense, almost intoxicating. It was like shedding a heavy, suffocating cloak. After she handed me the receipt, I thanked her and turned around. My family was still huddled together, Ashley whispering something to my mom, who was nodding intently. My dad was looking at his watch, oblivious. They hadn't even noticed I was gone for those few moments. I walked back towards them, grabbed my carry-on bag and my personal item. "What are you doing?" my mother asked, finally noticing my movement. "I'm leaving," I said simply. My voice was devoid of emotion, a stark contrast to the turmoil churning inside me. Ashley looked up, her tears instantly drying. "Leaving? What are you talking about? We're about to board." "No, you're not," I replied, my gaze sweeping over all 3 of them. "I just canceled your tickets." The color drained from my parents' faces. Ashley's mouth dropped open. You can't do that," she shrieked, her voice much louder than before. "Oh, I just did," I said, a faint, bitter smile touching my lips. "Every single ticket, every hotel reservation, every excursion, all gone. I paid for it all, remember, so I can cancel it all." My father finally found his voice, sputtering. You paid for this whole trip. Why didn't you say anything?" "Because you never asked," I said, my eyes hardening. "Because you never cared enough to wonder how your perpetually struggling, unemployed daughter was suddenly affording a luxury vacation for 4. Because you were too busy doting on her, always, at my expense." I looked directly at Ashley, who was now truly shocked into silence. "And because I was stupid enough to think that buying you a dream vacation would somehow make you appreciate me, make you see me as something more than just a convenient punching bag, but a slap in the face in a crowded airport, followed by your parents immediately blaming me, made me realize what an absolute fool I've been." My mother started to protest. "Now, honey, that's not fair." I cut her off, a single, defiant tear finally escaping my eye. "Fair was never a concept you applied to me. Ashley gets the window seat, the attention, the forgiveness for her cruel behavior. I get blamed, ignored, and physically assaulted. I'm done. I'm truly, absolutely done." I turned my back on them. I heard Ashley's voice, a horrified wail. "Mom, Dad, do something. She can't just leave us here." But I didn't look back. I just kept walking, my footsteps firm and deliberate. I walked past the stunned passengers, past the gate, and through the bustling terminal. I found an empty gate area, sat down, and pulled out my phone. I quickly rebooked a flight for myself to a completely different destination, a solo trip to a quiet cabin in the mountains, a place where I could truly be alone and process everything. I didn't want Hawaii anymore. The thought of it was tainted. The aftermath, I can only imagine. I later received a torrent of furious voicemails and texts from my parents. They called me selfish, cruel, unfilial, and accused me of ruining their dreams. Ashley, surprisingly, was mostly silent, though she did send one scathing text calling me a bitch. I blocked all of them. I changed my phone number. I even blocked them on social media. For the first time in my life, I cut ties completely. It's been months now. The silence from them is both liberating and at times a little bit lonely, but mostly it's peace. I've realized that sometimes the only way to truly love yourself is to walk away from people who consistently diminish your worth, even if those people are your own family. The trip to the mountains was exactly what I needed. It allowed me to reflect, to heal, and to understand that my worth is not determined by their approval or affection. It's determined by me. So, here's my concluding thought. Sometimes the most powerful act of self-love is setting boundaries, even if it means breaking ties with those you once considered irreplaceable. It hurts, yes, but the freedom and self-respect you gain are immeasurable. Like this video if you were on my side. Subscribe for more stories like this, and share your final thoughts on this whole mess in the comments section. Did I do the right thing? I still wonder sometimes, but then I remember the sting on my cheek and the look of utter indifference from my parents, and I know I did. I'll see you all in the next story.